Champions, welcome. The squares have aligned and bingo is nigh. It's time for Elden Squares Season 3. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, we have the man from down under. They will play bingo anytime, any place, anybody, even at 4 in the morning, which it may or may not be for them right now. It is Bofa D's. And they'll be looking to give it a tankin' top here today. Their primary DLC player is a man who we call the Base Serpent, the overlord of the DLC. He has mastered the craft of DLC bingo, an experienced player with playoff experience in the Crucible. It is none other than the main man, Deutz, and his teammate, the most naturally talented player in the entirety of Ignite. This man can do anything. Speed running, hitless, rando, doesn't matter. A bingo competitor who has been with us since day one. It is none other than Dino. And their opponents, fighting out of the blue corner, their primary base game player, the most decorated man in all of Elden Ring bingo. This man has so many titles, you will forget to count them. The two-time runner-up in Elden Squares, it is none other than Tank Top Helios and his teammate, the fastest woman in bingo, a dominant performer who is looking to take over the 2v2 world and cement her place on the Elden Bingo throne. A randomizer racing champion. It is none other than Elemis Fia's champion. Now let's get ready to run that board and square off.
Lizard.
All right. Lizard. You ready to go, Sci-Fi?
I'm ready, dude.
All right, then let's go ahead and do this thing here. All right, Sci-Fi. Center square prediction.
I had a prophetic dream. Center square is 6 friendly NPCs.
It's Millennia. It's Millennia until it happens. Logar and Magnus, the Beast Claw, two absolute menaces, and there we go. We have a DLC center square and a decent chunk of DLC on this board. Maybe not as heavy as Ellie would have hoped, as she is the #1 DLC lover, it feels like. But we got 3 squares there in the top row, 5 here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I gotta say some very late ones, right? Bail the Dread. Metter, Mother of Fingers, does Helios need to come into the DLC and win the game for Tank and Top here yet again today? In terms of some of the other squares that we could see earlier in the opening. For our DLC player, look at that Red Bear and Rao base. For the base game player, you could look at Elimer of the Briar. You could look at Loretta, Blue Spirit. Tunnels and Precipice, if you just want to go Makar and get a tunnel out of that one. I can already see some synergy between God Bosses and Tanis Crucible Knight. Both of those being through Volcano Manor, because Noble and Godric are both God Bosses and Tanis Crucible Knight is there. Also of note, I do see that Dragon Hunter's great katana there, ready to smite Bail the Dread. And of course, we have the main man, Malekith, the Black Blade on the board with that Colossal Finger Creeper that you can kill right before him and can claim another square on your way there. Sci-Fi, what is your thoughts on this board?
Yeah, so there's 2 things you want to look at, like with the DLC squares. Like, first, how many are there? And second, what is the positioning, right? On row 1, and I'm looking for lines with DLC squares. So, like, what's going to be really important for both teams is to have the base game player claim or have at least priority on those lines that have 4 DLC squares, so column 3. So that means Malekith is going to be a very important square on this board because you have Deathrite Bird, Ghost Flame Dragons, Redbeard Boss and Raubase, Loger and Magnus all in the same line with that. If the base game player can take Malekith, that just takes pressure off of the DLC player and gives them the freedom to kind of set up better, because Deathrite Bird, Ghost Flames, those are very related. Loger Magnus is just out of the way because you need Altus. And Red Bear Boss is in the opposite direction of South, so having to figure out how to split progress on that line is going to suck for the DLC player. Also, you have Bale, Hippos, Metter on the same line. I feel like lines with Metter are less of a threat because that usually ends up being the last square. It's just so long, dude. It's like
unless
minutes.
There's hinterland synergy, like if you have hinterlands and south synergy, there are boards where Metter could be done faster, but those are few and far between, right? And not really anything. It takes
like a really rare board.
There's a reason to go south here for Bale and Ghost Flame Dragons, right? But nothing. And Deathrite Bird, right? And of note with those two also, base game player, if you have a smithing weapon, definitely going to want Sacred Blade between that Karos, Hidden Grave, Deathrite Bird. We saw how important that was for Asim yesterday, beating Strump to that square. And also the Ghost Flame Dragons, both those are undead enemies, so you'll get plus 100% bonus damage to those enemies. I think a really interesting board here. Some big kills. I hope we see them, of course. And could be a lot of fun here today. Great way to start the day off.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we'll see a Tunnels Rush from one of the players. You can do Makar, and then the Limgrave Tunnel and the Weeping Tunnel. One of the benefits of doing that is you get Altus access, and also the Weeping Tunnel, which has Scaly Misbegotten, which of course is Dino's arch nemesis, probably the hardest fight for Dino. It's a great axe check, so you could like score Omen Killer Cleaver on that.
And we are underway. The time for talking is over. Game 1 of 4 on this beautiful Elden Squares Bingo Sunday. Here we go. I will say we already see some differences in our starting weapons. Dino and Deutz, Bofa D's are rocking Bofa D's great katanas. Deutz going with the Dragon Hunters. Dino going with Rakshasas. Meanwhile, Helios is rocking Dragon Hunters in the base game, and Ellie is going with the Gargoyles Greatsword. Smithing weapons are more popular in the DLC, will also be beneficial for the Sacred Blade that we talked about earlier, but no native bleed on that. And native bleed is very important. However, she will obviously still be able to get Frost Attunement.
And Wild Strikes. Wild Strikes and Cold. It's going to be good. So I'm just going to like throw this out there. Like Deutz has an advantage towards squares like Bale. Not necessarily on Ghost Flame Dragons, though. Despite having Dragon Hunters, like Ellie with Sacred Blade would have a distinct advantage there. But the nice thing is you have Morgott and Malekith, so as long as Helios is able to claim one of those, he can go into the DLC later, and he could potentially do Bale with Dragon Hunter's Great Katana. Not that it's even a problem for Ellie with the smithing weapon.
Also, one thing,
but like just like what Helios did yesterday, right? He came in at the end of the game, did Metter. Like he could come in and do that with Bale.
One thing that I do want to point out here, this is something that Ellie and Helios were talking about this morning. Both of these, Ellie has been the primary DLC player for their team, and Helios has been the primary base game player. But this team has a lot of switchability, right? Like both of them can do both. Like they could switch it up, right? I don't know if they will do that today, but I will say Ellie has some base game squares starred on the board here. Well, arguably base game squares, arguably DLC, Colossal Finger Creeper and Larval Tears, right? They actually just told me this morning that they considered switching it up before their game against you guys yesterday to throw you off. That is definitely a tool in their toolkit that they could look to break out at some point. Will today be the day? Early on, it doesn't look like it, with Ellie going Academy and Helios going for Makar, but we will have to wait and see.
I'm seeing some decent synergies here on the board. You mentioned God Bosses, Tanith's Crucible Knight. That's also connected to 4 unique Bloodhound Knights and 5 Seals. So there's actually 4 squares in the direction of Volcano Manor. You have, so that's one synergy, those 4 squares. You have 3 tunnels, kill Loretta Blue Spirit, collect full Hallowed Tree Medallion, kill 6 bosses in Liurnia. That's 4 squares that have synergy in Liurnia because Precipice is a boss, Blue Loretta is a boss, the full Hallowed Tree Medallion takes you to Omen Killer and Erdtree Avatar, so that's access to 2 more bosses, which gets you four bosses out of the way towards the 6 bosses in Liurnia. So those are both pretty good synergy plays that can be chased. I think both Helios and Dino they're taking separate paths, but they're opting to set up for Altus first, although Helios is taking the car route, which means he's getting 1 tunnel.
Yeah.
And actually his choice of weapon makes sense because I believe Dragon Hunters has a damage increase against magma worms.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yes, it does, because magma worms are dragons. And I do want to point out here, so I want to get your thoughts. So very off meta from Bofa D's here today. Kind of the meta starting play is base game player goes Makar at this point, and DLC player goes God or Granola, right? In this board, we have Dino going Dectus, and Deutz is going Loretta first. We'll go full screen with Deutz here for this fight, but what are some of your thoughts on that play?
Yeah, I've seen this quite a few times. Sometimes the DLC player will go and get one of these quick rush squares to start the game off before they go on their DLC path. I kind of like this square on some boards. This one, it's hard to say. The nice thing about like the DLC rush is like it's a pretty significant time investment. So what Deutz's like way of getting into the DLC is going to be here is he's going to want to wait to see what Ellie marks when he's going into the DLC. But Ellie's a very smart player, right? So she's going to see this blue Loretta from Deutz and know like, okay, I actually have some time to kind of spread out a little bit in the DLC. I mean, Ellie's doing a full-on DLC rush, right?
Yeah.
Like she'll be there in like 15 minutes or so.
My presumption would be that she goes Forge first, right? Because you have time, just upgrade to that max level weapon, and you also set yourself up for the Red Baron route base.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like this basically gives Ellie like a green light to set up however she wants in the DLC. And I agree, like Red Bear, the Forge in Red Bear is a very strong opening. I could see Ellie like doing the Forge and then going and killing Golden Hippo and then going back for Red Bear potentially.
Yeah, she'll have options, right?
Yeah, just because like Golden Hippo is like, Deutz very nicely claiming that square,
very clean, very clean Deutz. Very clean kill by Deutz. First blood to both of these.
Very clean Deutz.
Very clean Deutz. He showered this morning.
Yeah. His hair is still wet, actually.
Yeah.
No, but I do like this like from Deutz though, because like I was saying, there's like some synergies on the board, right? So this is like basically the DLC player kind of like decompressing a little bit of the kind of pressure on the base game player, because I mean Helios grabbed the Loretta Grace, he just didn't go for it. He went Makar first, but now he's gonna miss out on some of that Liurnia synergy.
Yeah, and
with the 6 bosses.
I also did feel like one of the keys to the match here for Bofa D's was Deutz getting off to a hot start, right? Obviously, I was more so talking about the DLC rush, but regardless, getting that clean kill on Loretta, got a good start, right? Got to make you. It always feels good to just have a really clean fight for the first fight of the game.
Yeah. You know, he's also doing a somber weapon, so for him, I think I didn't see his path. I mean, he needs the academy key regardless, so I was wondering, you know, maybe he could have used the setup runes from Loretta. Like a lot of people use Red Wolf as their setup runes.
Yeah,
looks like he's just doing a +0 rush, though.
Well, we will see here. Let's go ahead and go to the dual screen here. Deutz on Margit. Helios continuing to do work on Makar. He does have that bonus damage as Makar is a dragon. I believe it's actually 30%. Quite a bit of bonus damage. from the Dragon Hunter's Great Katana on dragon bosses. And I will say, actually, you know what? We talked about Sacred Blade 2 earlier with the Ghost Flames. Dragon Hunter's not as strong, but the Ghost Flame Dragons are actually the only boss in the game with a dual weakness. Certain bosses have a weakness, i.e. gravity type enemies, dragon enemies, and undead. The only bosses in the entire game with a dual weakness are Ghost Flame Dragons, because they are both dragons and undead. So Dragon Hunters will not be as strong as a Sacred Blade weapon, but still get some bonus damage there, and very nicely done by Deutz. We now see Ellie in. Let's go full screen with her, and a very nice Makar by Helios, right? I would say one of the fastest weapons to get through Makar. DP is probably faster because it's DP, but you know, Dragon Hunters is A, an amazing weapon, and B, extra damage.
Yeah, and very similar approach to the fight as well. Just spam L2. Yeah, Helios is getting the Grace at 9 minutes, which is honestly an insanely fast time for Makar. Very, very good time for Makar.
Very good time.
Like that's on par with Dectus and skipping
EG.
Spiked Crack Tier Axe Talisman, like skipping everything, skipping the Source Seal. Like if you just dead rush Dectus, get the medallions and go to Altus, like you can touch the Grace around 9 minutes. You could probably do it a little bit faster. To get through Makar in that time is very impressive.
Yeah, very nicely done by Helios here.
And he has one tunnel now, which also, so Helios and Deutz both have one boss in Liurnia, which, by the way, another thing that's important to note here.
Nice job by Deutz,
that
by the way.
DLC
He got
player,
hit.
by doing the Godric Renala Rush, will by default get 2 Liurnia bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Helios isn't going to be picking up those extra 2 Liurnia bosses, so there may be a time later in the game when Deutz comes back from the DLC and finishes out that square.
Yeah,
and he can do that very easily with like Smarag.
EG Grace, right? For
yeah, exactly. There's a Revenant right there. I didn't see if he grabbed the Grace behind Smarag, but if he did, the square is basically free after that because it's just Smarag, the 5-time champ, Bowls, and then a Royal Revenant, and that's an easy fast square later.
Yeah, you could also go for you have full Haligtree on. Oh, actually, no, never mind. I was thinking the Haligtree medallion is behind the Bloodhound. My apologies.
I mean, either way, like just going over there's an Omen Killer and
and Dino is actually fighting. This is a big fight for Dino here. Can he do it? His opposition, the hardest boss in the game. It is none other than the scaly Misbegotten. Good jump attack on the opener. Here comes the undodgeable attack, but oh my god, he dodged it. He's cracked. And he gets the bleed. He's done it. What a job by Dino. Great start. Very difficult fight.
You can tell he's been practicing this. You know, he put in the hours. He did the hitless Scaly Misbegotten. He's really grown as a player in this league.
If anyone wants to know the lore on that, Dino always dies of Scaly Misbegotten in Rando.
Yeah. You know, this is very interesting from Dino, by the way. Like, going tunnels, like Helios is opting for Elmer, which I do like the position of Elmer way more than tunnels.
Yeah, well,
right?
I will say, right, I think I'm not sure if this is an intentional game plan, right? But Helio or Dino and Deutz playing so off meta right now, right? Maybe just looking to throw Helios and Ellie off, right? Like just saying like, hey, let's make this game weird and funky, right? Because especially for Dino, I feel like that's where he excels, right? He's so good, like at rando or in formats where like stuff is very variable, is variable, and is weird, right? And he just excels in those types of situations. It looks like they're kind of making a off meta play at the start, in order to make the game weird, make Ellie and Helios think, throw them off.
Well, honestly, this is kind of a weird way of interpreting this, but Ellie and Helios, like having practiced a bit more as a team and having practiced against other teams that have been practicing a lot, you start to develop metas. and timings and a flow for the game. Like people kind of collectively learn how to play with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a disadvantage when you start playing against Dino and Deutz, where they're going to take more unconventional approaches, right? It's like, how do I time this? What are they doing? Like, how do I counter this? Like, it starts to, like, your practice can actually kind of hurt you because you learn like behaviors and patterns that aren't going to serve you in this instance, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like I will say, like, I do play a bit of competitive Pokemon, right? And you know, in Pokemon, that is a game that is very meta. Like certain Mons or whatever are very considered the strongest and very meta. And I remember there was one tournament game that I loaded up, right? And this guy brought in Pokemon, they're called, the best Pokemon are called in a certain tier, right? OU is the main tier, overused. And this guy loaded up a whole team of low tier guys, right? And it scared the shit out of me because I was like, I don't know what these guys do. Like I've never played against these Pokemon. You know, in Pokemon, we say one of the keys is if someone does load up a lower tier team, right? You just stick to your game plan and you just play solid, right? Because at the end of the day, like your team, your initial plan is stronger, right? There's a reason why they're higher tier. There's a reason why they're meta. But if you do get thrown off by that, it can really shake you.
Yeah. By the way, Helios takes down Elmer. Clean, easy fight. And now he's looking to finish out this tunnel square, I think. Yeah, he's going to Scaly Misbegotten now. Dino's in his last tunnel, though. Dino just has to kill this FSB, and he'll be sniping Helios off of this square.
Yeah. And
granted, if there's no incidences, obviously Dino's very, very rehearsed at the FSB fight. This is like a staple in Bingo. He even has this tech for the ladder right here, rolling before he even gets on it.
Yeah, and you get the Somber 5 and 6, right? To upgrade your weapon.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they're both using Somber weapons, but like getting the Somber 6 here is very good for your setup route.
Yeah, I actually wonder if it's almost a little bit of a misplay by Helios. Like he maybe should have gone FSB first. I guess you are hard rushing it, right? Because he was probably going to do Scaly into the tunnel, right? Or into Rimglaive tunnel, but FSB is very, very valuable here. Maybe not as valuable as Makar, right? Getting you Altus access, but still great value out of the Falling Star Beast here. We'll go full screen with our two tunnel racers, but this is only Helios' second of three. Well, this is Dino's third, so square should go to Dino here. And Ellie is first into the DLC, a very nice entry time, especially considering she was only able to one cycle Renala due to only having single status. Getting there in like 15:30 or so. Very, very nice time from her.
Yeah, by the way, I want to say just like the FSB tunnel, you either do this or you do Makar. You don't do both.
So you're saying I'm a greedy bastard thinking about trying to do both.
You're a greedy boy you will not get away with that in this league.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's one man who would.
If Dino had done that, even with Helios doing Elmer, I think he just loses it literally because it's that much slower. But yeah, that puts kind of a hole in Helios's opening play here. Helios gets the blue Loretta Grace, does Makar. He's looking at Loretta tunnels, and Deutz takes Loretta before he even has a chance to kind of go in that direction, and then Dino comes back and snipes him on tunnels after. So
yeah, I mean, and they have an early
Helios did claim Elmer. It's not like he lost anything in the opening
100%
volley of squares.
Also will be said, you know, they have a early little threat here on the board with the column 5, right? And that's a threat that Helios has to address because you can do larval like getting DLC access helps a lot with larval tiers, but you really want to kill Radon and Mimic, right? I know there are ways to do it. But Helios really is the one who needs to address that line. And it looks like he's going for it now, going to Volcano Manor to get good value here, to be fair. He will get 2 god bosses in Noble in Rykard. Then after Rykard, you kill Tannis Knight, right? And you can also get a seal there. Plus, it sets up a potential diag with 3 DLC squares in the center of that diagonal, right? If Helios claims Tannis Crucible Knight here, all these 3 squares are DLC, and Ellie has quite the lead on the DLC and could start working on those.
Yeah, the thing about this like early threat is it kind of pushes your opponent into a strong play.
Yeah. Maybe not the best play.
Really good.
Maybe not the best play. I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Like, especially with this format, it's still so new. Like, it's hard to say what is the best play, especially with the variability of these boards. But a Rykard Tannis Knight, very strong play.
Well, I think like there's two strong areas of synergy for the base game players in this board, and it's Volcano Manor and Liurnia. Deutz already cheapened Liurnia by taking Loretta. And well, they both did. They took Tunnels and Loretta. Those were the 2 synergy squares that worked with 6 bosses in full Halgtree Medallion. And also Bloodhound Knights. That's also another one that's good because there's a Bloodhound Knight in a cave.
And Malekith. But, Colossal Finger Creeper into Malekith is very strong. Positionally, not great, but Colossal Finger Creeper is pretty quick, and it's on the way to Malekith, right?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty strong. But you're the expert. Who am I?
The thing about the Finger Creeper is it kind of sucks to fight, dude. Like you actually need some health because I don't know anybody that's figured out like the clean way to fight it, but you just need to tank hits. Like you need to be able to survive the finger crawl because like I don't know how to dodge it. I don't even know if you can.
I will say the one in base game though, the one in DLC is a tank. But the base game one is actually pretty squishy. Very nice fight by Deutz there, by the way. We said a clean start from Deutz was a key to the match, and he is on a very clean start here.
Yeah, and kind of as we predicted earlier, Ellie's, getting through the forge already. She's nearly done with it. She's going to be getting a plus 24 weapon from going through this forge. By the time Deutz gets into the DLC, she's going to be rocking a plus 24 weapon already. Deutz is using a somber weapon, so his setup route is going to be a little bit different. When you go with the somber weapon, you can enter Castle Ensis to pick up a somber 5 and a somber 6. And then the Morth Ruins forge, outside of it, there's a Scarab with a somber 7, but I think it's still faster to just go into the Morth Ruins forge to pick up your 7 and 8. You're only getting a somber 9 if you go back section or if like Bowls, Ensis Knight, and Bowls are on the board, which isn't the case right now. So Deutz will be looking to get a plus 8 weapon right now to position himself in the DLC, while Ellie is gonna have her first, basically free time to go get her first squares or do some more setup in the DLC.
Yeah, she's going to Morth. I think this is what you called earlier, right? She's saying, I have time, go kill Golden Hippo first, right? And then go for the Red Bear.
Yeah, I really like that idea. Just, you get a ton of money from Golden Hippo. Golden Hippo is going to give you access to Sword of Light or Darkness.
And actually, Deutz is running through a forge here. So what Somber Stones does he get in this forge?
He gets 7 and 8 in this forge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We don't see the Somber route in the DLC very often, so I would just need a refresher.
Yeah. It's not very common, right? Usually people opt for the smithing weapon.
Yeah, but when you have a really good Somber weapon and all the smithing weapons, like Gargoyle's Greatsword is a great smithing weapon, but dual status has been king in this format, and when there's no good dual status weapon, I think it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not the best call, right? We'll have to wait and see how the game plays out and how these two players and their weapons perform, right? But I think it's, in my mind, that seems very justifiable at the very least. And actually, Ellie is going Larval Tears in the DLC.
That is interesting. I wonder if this is a play for AL Larval Tier, maybe the fragments over here as well, like just getting beefy.
Yeah, she can get 2 extra Scadu.
Common play.
No, but I do think this is the game that Deutz and Dino wanted to create, right? Like they wanted to play weird, make it weird, make Ellie and Helios get outside their comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
And play a very off meta game. I think I'm not sure if that was an intentional tactic by them before the game or just how it's worked out. And Ellie goes down, right? Gets kicked by the furnace golem. I mean, that can happen to absolutely anybody. Like that shit will just happen sometimes. But is it a byproduct of Dino and Deutz throwing them off? I don't know.
No, man, that fucker gets me even in like Shadow Bingo.
Yeah, no,
I hate that furnace golem, dude.
Hey,
I don't know how people like,
agree
consistently
with you.
get past him. Dude, he could stomp or he could just kick you. Like,
I agree.
He's just a pain in the ass, dude.
Look,
it's RNG. Like, depends on what movie does.
I completely agree with you. He's a bastard. I gotta build the storyline. Dino and Deutz are in there. They're in their head. They're throwing him off. How will they respond?
Yeah, the mental warfare of Dino and Deutz is affecting the gameplay of Ellie right now.
Dino and Deutz are winning the game within the game.
Ellie sacrificed
And
a chicken
Deutz
and not
does
a goat.
die in Scadu Altus there. He gets hit by the Virgin. Dino here going for the Bofa duo. Bofa D's going for their Bofa duo. That Rakshasa's Great Katana is an amazing weapon for this because you can see Weed Cutter beautifully takes down the first one, and now it's just a one-on-one with a Bofa. It's Bofa Dino versus
Scaling
Bofa
here is
Bofa.
crazy, bro. This is Dragon Barrow. It's just Bofa, right? No, both of these could kill you very easily. So him getting down that sickle one, which is honestly the main problem, really simplifies the fight. You know, I'm wondering right now, like, so Larval Tears, Unique Seals, Tanith's Crucible Knight. Like, Ellie and Helios are preparing for literally all three of those squares. Like, Ellie getting a Larval Tear, and Helios going to Tanith's Crucible Knight. I think they're just covering their bases because Helios doesn't know this, but Dino did not do Makar into tunnels.
Yeah.
He probably thinks that he did.
And Helios here fighting Rykard. This will be another god boss for him and get him Tanith's Crucible Knight afterwards. One other thing is that it is one of two remembrances for him to potentially dip into the DLC later to take that meta late game like he did yesterday. And we have Ellie fighting the Golden Hippo here. Best way to show this off, we'll probably just jump to the 4-player big screen really quickly so we can see both Rykard and Hippo in nice big view. If anyone's missed so far, anyone just jumping in, big game here today between Bofa D's and Tank and Top. Tank and Top coming off a big win yesterday over my co-commentator Sci-Fi and Shura. Bofa D's coming in with a 2-2 record, and they played an absolutely brutal schedule here. But this is a team that is very, very dangerous. Especially if they are able to get the win here today, they can put themselves with a winning record and in good position for the playoffs. Bofa D's doing a very off-meta opener here, and we are yet to see if that does throw off the game plan of Tank and Top.
This is actually surprisingly working out kind of well for Deutz. So Ellie died once, which kind of a little bit reduced the timing advantages that she had.
To be fair, Deutz also died once. Deutz missed a skip, so it's even.
Yeah, so it's probably even in that regard, but Deutz going directly south, like, for him this is good because the danger for him is if he goes into the DLC and kind of pushes into an area where Ellie has already made progress.
Oh, and Dino does a Dino. Dino is the greediest man of all time. And greeted way too hard for, I presume, a stagger there against the Draconic Tree Sentinel, and he went down. That is Dino. If you've ever seen him do rando races, he will finish with like 5 or 6. He will finish with like 4 more deaths than you, and you'll go, "How the fuck did I lose?" And then it's because he just greeds like hell, and his fights are so fast when it does go right. But he takes an exorbitant amount of risk. Very nicely done by both players on Tank and Top, getting down Rykard and the hippo there, very clean hippo. And I have received breaking news from Sparkle Mouse. Apparently Ellie has had her iced coffee this morning. That means that the ice is running through her veins and she is very dangerous.
Sorry to Dino and Deutz. We didn't know that Ellie had performance enhancing drinks.
Yes. We need to test our players for iced coffee before their games.
Yeah, you know, this is actually going to be very dangerous for Dino and Deutz. Like, Ellie has one hippo down. That gives her access to Sword of Light or Darkness, and Sword of Light or Darkness is her next best square because it blocks row 2. So Dino and Deutz have, for this whole game, been pushing Ellie and Helios into the diagonal bingo, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
And they're not preparing for it whatsoever. Like,
and actually, Helios could even consider going to take Logar and Magnus the Beast Claw. He already has one Remembrance down. He could go do Godric for another God boss, right? Or Renala for some Liurnia bosses, and then go take Logar and Magnus and Beast Claw himself. I
think he does Malekith. I'd like to see Malekith from Helios into Logar Magnus.
We also got some
Malekith,
Dragon Hunters on Dragon Hunters action here from Deutz and ADM.
Yeah, like, you want to play against the player a little bit. Dino, insane execution, and like, so Dino's like, you know, if he can hold R2 and greet a hit, he will. You don't want him to go kill Malekith and get 200,000 runes because he's going to have enough Vig to not lose any.
There goes Tannis Crucible Knight there from Helios. Deutz about to... I'm gonna shut up.
Ancient Dragon Man will not
ADM just decided to switch weapons like 10
times. What the fuck is ADM
that was
doing,
so...
man?
ADM just threw. ADM just fumbled the bag entirely, and the win goes to Dino. Nice job, ADM. Thank you. Thank you for helping out Dino there, or Deutz there.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like, what... Okay, Dino's going both bosses in Sage's Cave. He got the torch, but I don't think they're fully aware of the diag that's...
Well, Deutz is going hippos. Together.
Okay, I mean, we know Ellie already has one. The question of how he's gonna get his last two...
Because Ellie already got Ellie got Sword of Light and Dark. Ellie can just go down to, if she grabbed that Grace behind the Furnace Golem there in the, what is that area called?
Castle Watering Hole?
Yeah, in the Castle Watering Hole. Thank you very much. Yeah. He can go kill. There's just 2 more hippos down there, nice and free. Deutz has the one behind ADM, yes, but he needs to kill Golden Hippo pretty much, right? To do this, right? And then you run.
You can do back section. Go get. Actually, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, because you need 2 more, right? So you either need to go to Castle Watering Hole or do Golden Hippo and the one in Rao, Upper Rao.
Yeah. Either way, he needs Golden Hippo.
And we see Helios here setting up.
Backwards.
He's actually.
If you do like full back section, you go all the way to back section, you can jump down and take the elevator down and go to where Rakshasa is. But
yeah, I just don't see any reason why Ellie doesn't go Sword of Light and Dark here and then immediately finish up hippos, and then if she does that, she will snipe Deutz, right?
Yeah, and that's gonna be hard to answer. Because it's just going to come down to Logar Magnus at that point. Like,
yeah.
Ellie's going to get this square right now, get the row 2 block. Which, you know, there's a little stream delay, but she gets it. Does she even need to finish the Romina run? I don't think so, no.
No.
Going back to Scorched Ruins, though.
That might be a little bit...
Could be for... what?
ADM.
Oh, making some south progress. Okay, I actually kind of like this.
Yeah, I guess I can understand how for let's go full screen with Dino here for the Invis Assassin fight. But I can understand, obviously, from our perspective, if Ellie does go for the 2 hippos in the watering hole, right? Like, this bingo feels pretty free.
Yeah.
But Dino and Deutz have played so weird, right? Normally when 2 players play very standard meta games, right, you have a good sense of timing and where your opponent is, or at least some semblance of a sense, right? I would imagine that, Deutz hasn't marked anything since Loretta. He has no idea what the hell Deutz is doing, right? So it makes sense to maybe not go aggressive for the bingo, right? Risk getting sniped and instead just play solid, get your south progress, because you can get Deathright Bird in Carl's Hidden Grave, Ghost Flame Dragons, and if you get hippos as well, great. If not, you're still in a fine spot.
Yeah, the one thing you don't want to do is play a super aggressive game when your opponents haven't marked anything and just shoot yourself in the foot. Like, Ellie's, I think, like, just too smart of a player to do something like that. So going for, because technically Ellie could just go Castle Watering Hole, go kill 2 hippos, and bam, they just have like the nastiest bingo threat on them. Like, they don't even have to do Logar Magnus if they don't want to. They could just extremely inconvenience their opponents.
And Deutz goes down there to that golden hippo.
Damn. Golden hippo's got hands, man.
Yeah, because that's actually one thing I've realized too, right? I'm struggling to pull an example, but sometimes players have been able to turn getting sniped into, not an advantage, but when you get sniped, you do gain the advantage of the fog of war, right? Players don't know what you're doing, and especially in this format, right? Because it's 2v2 in base game singles, the frequency at which squares are marked, it makes tracking much easier. Right? It's much easier to track your opponent in singles. In doubles, right? It's super hard because individual players can go quite a long time without marking a square, and especially if they get sniped, you have no idea what the hell they're doing.
I honestly still think Ellie gets hippos even going south.
Yeah, with that death, right?
Fight with Golden Hippo just takes longer than the fight with ADM, especially when you have wild strikes.
I mean, if he didn't die, I think there was a good chance, but that death really does hurt, right?
Yeah. And just overall having kind of a less clean hippo. Now you're getting the insane stall moves, like you've lost your stagger. Like, you're just getting punished by this gigantic hippopotamus rhinoceros porcupine amalgamation. What were they thinking when they made this chimera of a beast? Like Super Saiyan Sonic? I don't even know, dude. This thing's
what, when they made this hippo?
Yeah, Golden Hippo, dude. Like, what the hell is this thing? It's not like from any kind of like mythic lore, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think quite honestly, the decision making was, we want a hippo boss, right? And then how do we make it as awful as possible? I know, let's add a bunch of random needles.
True. You know what this hippo needs?
Needles.
Needles that go in every single direction.
It feels like someone.
Ellie's.
It feels like Ellie is going for the castling waterhole. Actually, the double hippo there.
Okay. That's
and Deutz gets swallowed and killed at the very end. Doesn't matter for the hippo square, but that's brutal for Deutz, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is faster.
Oh, and Helios is actually killing the colossal finger creeper here.
Puzzled, though.
Let's see this.
Yeah, so I did like this from Helios, like going to this Malekith area, finger creeper Malekith.
Yeah, it does feel like with the golden hippo though, someone took some recreational substances and then looked at a picture of a hippo and a porcupine and then said, "What if we put them together?"
And a rhino. Yeah, Helios is not fighting this the way you're supposed to fight this. I hate to say it.
You know what? We're going to go to the quad screen here. Helios will move to the bottom right. Quad screen, we got Finger Creeper, Hippo, and Goldfree.
Yeah, Dino going for Morgott, which is...
And there goes that Colossal Finger Creeper down, and Ellie marks the Hippos too. Now that threat on the middle column is, or the diagonal, sorry, is very serious.
Yeah, I'm curious if Deutz is going to go right for it. Obviously, he has DLC. He would need to go get Altus access, which I believe he is doing. He's going back to Raya Lucaria Academy. He's going to take the water wheel down to the Abductor Virgin, which will teleport him to Volcano Manor, and then he'll fight the Abductor Virgin duo to get into Altus. This immediately sends Deutz off into just the longest side quest ever, while Ellie just can potentially take her pick of the rest of the squares. And I like what Ellie's doing here. Going to get Sacred Blade to take 2 squares on column 3. Deathrite Bird and Karo's Hidden Grave and Ghost Flame Dragons. So Deutz is making progress towards 2 squares. Actually, there's the Oathseeker Knight and Black Knife set, which requires Altus in DLC, and Logre Magnus, which requires Altus in DLC. His will take quite a bit longer than the play Ellie's doing, so Ellie's still going to have time to, like, spread out in the DLC. Sacred Blade also will be very good for killing PK.
Yeah.
Which is strong on row 1, although Dino is going right now to kill Morgott and kind of cheapen that play for Ellie. That'll just be one of these kind of squares. I think after Ellie makes this like strong 2-square play with the Ghost Flame Dragons and Deathrite Bird, like PK will be one of the squares that she'll just have at her disposal. I think probably what we'll see from Ellie is throwing Red Bear Boss and Rao Base in there. Maybe after the Deathrite Bird.
Well, we will
depending if Deutz gets this mark off, actually, Ellie may prefer Red Bear Boss before.
Yeah, I think
because Morgott's gonna cheapen the row 1, right?
I really did like kind of the off-meta style opening there from Dino and Deutz, right? But I think the Hippo Snipe really hurt, right? Because if they get the Hippo Snipe, A, most importantly, they're in the lead right now, but B, they don't have to deal with this diagonal and actually have their own bingo threat on the column 2, right? A really big swing of events there with the Hippos going to Ellie, right? And Ellie has Sacred Blade. Deutz has to go to get Altus access in order to get Logre and Magnus to block, and she can just clean up 2 really quick squares with Sacred Blade in Deathrite Bird and Karo's Hidden Grave and Ghost Flame Dragons. I think a good job of weathering the storm early from tank and top there with a very off-meta line from Bofa D's. However, still a lot of bingo left to be played.
Yeah, Ellie's doing what I thought that she would. Like at this point, they have obviously the giant 4-square line, but at this point now, you want to take DLC squares. They're going to give you more bingo lines. So Ellie gets Sacred Blade, has the option of doing Deathrite Bird first, but then Morgott comes on the board, and now that's not going to be a row 1 threat anymore. So Ellie goes and finishes Red Bear Boss and Rao Base, which creates a row 4 threat. After doing Red Bear and Rao Base, now the value of Karo's Hidden Grave Deathrite Bird comes back online because you're getting a column 3 threat at that point. Meanwhile,
yes and no, because I think if
Deutz
you,
is
I
doing
will,
the center square.
Yeah, I will say if you're greeting for all of that, you need to be, which Ellie is operating correctly, you kind of need to be under the assumption that Deutz is going for Altus access to claim center square, right?
Yes.
The other thing too, though, actually, is there is some value here. God Bosses is going to be a really tough snipe because Helios has a pretty big lead on that, right? That being said, though, Deutz can claim both Logre and Magnus, as well as Oathseeker and Black Knife there. The Prophet, the creator of the square set, the main creator of the square set, Nartok, is preaching you go for 10 squares and then just send Metter and pray to God that they don't get 13 before you do. I mean, honestly,
She's doing Red Bear.
Not bad.
Not Arugula, but Red Bear.
She's doing Red Bear, not Red Bear.
Yeah. This guy has been the bane of my existence. I've been doing like the Rando Apocalypse training.
I hate him so much. I nope out of him almost every time.
So fucking sick of fighting Red Bear, dude. I hate this guy. Me, when I enter an arena and it's Red Bear, Lamenter, Solitary Jail Knight, Invisible Assassin, like any combination of those bosses, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, Deutz killing Varia, getting the fingers. He has Altus access now. He's going to be going for the center square. Dino. What is Dino doing? He's going Radon. That'll give him access to larval tiers. He may be looking to set up a row 3.
Maybe.
Helios.
Yeah, because actually
to do the skip that to that Bloodhound Knight and Kaled, and
yeah,
I think he had to bail out of it.
Of course, Helios is actually on the way to block with Bloodhound Knights, but I do like the idea a lot because Deutz is ahead on Liurnia bosses, right? With him having Altus access, right? He could do full Haligtree Medallion and probably kill an Altus or Liurnia boss or 2 along the way, right? They're pretty well positioned if Dino goes underground to get 4 squares on that line. However, Bloodhound Knights will, unless he pulls a me and dies to Darrowell 10 times, will be going the way of Helios.
Yeah, I would not fight this Red Bear.
And we got double Bear Claws on the screen. Red Bear NPC and
there's Triple Claws.
Triple Claws, yeah, with Darrowell. Ellie's in trouble here. Oh
my god, the Ashavor does quite a bit of damage from Red Bear. That's insane.
Ellie has to run, and this is her last flash. She's only at about 60% HP. Red Bear low as well, though. Will it be Fia's champion, or will it be the Red Bear? And it is Ellie. She does come out on top in that duel to the death between those two. We'll watch. Dino is absolutely annihilating Radon, making him look like he doesn't exist. So let's go full screen with Deutz here for Loger.
I never see anybody fight Loger the way I do.
Do you do the tethering?
Tethering, yeah. I've never seen anybody do that, but like
can you explain
I think
it?
it's literally the safest way to do it. It's slower than a heads up fight, but dying is fucking slow here, bro.
Can you explain the strat for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about?
Yeah, so you go downhill until Loger starts to walk backwards. He won't go too far from his spawn point, so you can just kind of go back and because his like Ashavor and his weapon moveset causes him to move forward a lot. So you basically just get him to the edge of where he'll fight you, run in, hit him a few times, and then just dodge backwards, and he'll start walking backwards again and just give you free attack windows.
Yeah, I've seen Strump do it once before, but not very common. I don't see it very often.
Okay.
You're not the only one, but I don't see it very often. And Ellie here going for Deathray Burden Karos, very nicely done by her. That Sacred Blade is just so good against this boss, completely nukes it, right?
Annihilated. It didn't even have its phase transition move.
Was there a Deathray Bird?
Like the Deathray Bird just got.
In Nartok's opposition, the infinite champion, the Lobster Scion. This is a larval tier for Dino here. Come on.
Yeah. By the way, like, this is the problem with playing against Ellie and Helios is like, they're too smart, dude. Like,
yeah, they're both.
What Helios is doing right now is building the block for 3 different squares on row 3.
Yeah, these two players
he gets
are
Bloodhound Knights, so all bingos are blocked for Bofa Ds. They cannot get any more bingos.
Yeah.
Oh, they're still the top left to bottom right diagonal.
Yes.
I lied.
The meta line.
Dude, the diags will always get you, man.
Yeah. To your point, though, right? Like, there are a lot of really smart teams in this league, right? Everyone who's in this league has a lot of experience with bingo, right? There are a lot of smart teams, but Ellie and Helios are two players who individually Helios is the most experienced player, right? I think in base game, one of the best strategists, right? Professor Rambler PhD is claims the title, but if you're arguing second, you could very well argue that it's Helios, and Allie as well, right? Because she worked so hard on her strategy and her board reading, particularly before the start of last season, right? And just two brilliant minds on the same team here, and that's kind of what you need to, I think, be in a position like where someone's playing so off meta, right? It's one thing to frazzle one brilliant mind, but to shake off two is quite difficult, right?
Yeah. I think Ellie and Helios are one of my favorites, at least for the finals.
And who's the other?
Obviously me, dude. What?
Well, I know. I just wouldn't,
Look, I have a philosophy. You always bet on yourself, even if it's not actually true.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that.
You
Like,
know?
I think, that, like, when you talk about the psychology of the elite players, one thing that a lot of them have is incredible self-confidence, right? Even when sometimes, like, you can, the best example I can give you is, like, if you think about boxers or whatever, when a boxer is going into a fight and it's like, oh my god, they always lose this fight, but he's talking like he's gonna win, blah 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 blah, even though he's a 50-1 underdog, right? Like,
Yeah.
you kind of need to have that type of confidence in any game, really, because it's, if you think you're gonna lose, you've already lost, right? Especially at this level of competition.
100%, yeah. It's self-attitude, self-belief. Which in sports actually kind of gets a bad rep. Like, it is such like a fundamental like mindset for how to play. Like, people think of it as like arrogance or whatever, but it's like, it's actually just necessary. And
no, I mean,
competitive format.
Like, fans make fun of it, right? And rightfully so, because sometimes it's ridiculous, right? But that's also the attitude you need to have, right?
And funnily enough, I don't see Ellie and Helios having that attitude, and they're crushing it. So maybe they know something we
Helios does, and I think Ellie does more quietly.
Wait, yeah, no, Helios is 100%.
Yeah,
like the archetype for that. Helios, by the way, fighting Malekith.
Very nice opening on the Malekith there. Very nice job getting that script with the scripted opening and getting the stagger. It's actually Vortex comes out. Very nice dodge. That's the in my opinion the most difficult move.
That's the thing I struggle with.
Because it also does so much damage, right? Because you get multi-hit in the Destined Death. Like, it almost doesn't matter how much health you have. If you eat the whole thing, good luck surviving.
I like the way Helios dodged that, by the way. Like, the times I die from it is when I do what Helios did, which is I take an extra R1, and then I try to dodge behind Malekith.
Yeah.
But Helios just showed me, which I didn't know, you could just dodge backwards. And
yeah, you can dodge backwards. I used to dodge backwards. I find it less consistent, but it's like whatever works, right?
Well, I think he had to, right? Like,
yeah, it also depends on your positioning, right? Like, if you were to do it right here, you're very far inside. You need to go behind, right? It just depends on your positioning. We will finish up Malekith here with Helios, and then we'll go check in on Deutz as he is fighting Commander Nile.
It really feels like this game was decided by the Hippos snipe.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, decided might be a strong word, but like, it went from Deutz and Dino being in a very good spot to it just whole game flipped, right? But that look, it's still 10-6, right? We've seen crazier comebacks, and it is possible. anything is possible because Deutz is about to get Oathseeker and Black Knife, right? Dino here is working on full Halogtree with Commander Nile, right? Liurnia bosses lead,
Helios will be
right?
God bosses now.
Yeah, Helios will get God bosses. There is always an opportunity though with Meter and Bale on the board. I combined them. It feels like anything can happen, right?
Meta is not happening this game. I am so
No,
sorry.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Meta is happening necessarily, right? But I'm saying the combination of those two squares, right? Them being so late, a snipe or two,
right.
A death or two on Bale, right? Things can happen, right?
Things can happen. You're not wrong. Helios did Bloodhound Knights, Dino doing Halogtree Medallion.
Yep.
Like he knows Helios did the Bloodhound Knight, so he's doing this to undermine the synergy that Helios gets out of the play.
Also,
while Helios goes for the block. Like everything that Dino Deutz are still playing this absolutely correctly, as in playing to win.
Yes.
They're still playing to win, right?
Also, while we do have a quick break in the action, there are no fights going on. I do want to thank Tafa and Mateo. Thank you guys so much for the follows. We really do appreciate it. If anyone is brand new to the league, this is Elden Squares Bingo. We are in week 5 of 8. All these players are some of the best players in the world. Grassroots players who all made it here. Well, actually some grassroots and some more known streamers, right? Like Sirius, Nessanetta, etc. And it is a grassroots base game plus DLC 2v2 bingo. That we are in week 5 of 8 here, and you can get into bingo yourself by joining the Ignite community. We have fantastic coaches. There's actually 3 different leagues in Elden Squares with over 60 players, catering to bingo players of all skill levels. So if you want to get into bingo, you can come check out and join us in Ignite, whether that is as a player or just as a fan. There's always practice games going on. Like I said, there's 60 players in the league, so there are a ton of games going on in the Discord that don't always get commentated. And lastly, you can follow me for more commentary. Smile. And follow Sci-Fi. Shout out Sci-Fi, because actually Sci-Fi is I do the commentary for the Golden Order and the Crucible divisions. Those are the two open divisions, not main divisions. And then Sci-Fi is the commentator for the rookie division. So if you want to see some rookie bingo, it's really fun to watch. I love rookie games. Definitely go check out Sci-Fi, and he does an amazing job, as he is doing here today with me. And it's the time for the 5-time champion, Bulls Carrion Knight. Gotta give Bulls his love.
I apologize to the rookies. There wasn't a commentated game this week. We'll be back again next week.
We will be back again next week, and he will be in full force for the playoffs.
Full force for the playoffs.
For the offs.
The offs of play. Yeah, Ellie getting larval tears is a massive snipe.
Yes.
That was the main thing Dino and Deutz needed to stay in the game. It would have been a 9-10 game at that point.
Mm-hmm.
With Deutz going for 6 bosses, that would put them at 10-10. Helios obviously getting god bosses would put it back to 11-10, but then it's still a realistically winnable game for Dino and Deutz at that point.
Yeah.
Especially if Dino would have sniped Ellie. The thing about Ellie, though, is it wouldn't have been a massive snipe on Ellie because she picked up a lot of the larval tears, just doing pathing in the DLC, right?
Yeah. Well, in the other really tough position is Meadows such a long square here. What Ellie can do is she can go, she could just go hard Bale, right? Or she could go set up Bale and then run back section in order to set up Meadow, right? Because Dino has not marked anything to suggest that he has 2 remembrances. You need to kill 2 different remembrance bosses to get DLC access, right? So she can just double prep Bale and Metter, right? And that should guarantee the win, even if she were to get somehow sniped on one of the 2, right?
I personally think she would set up PK and
Or PK.
Bale.
Yeah, PK would work as well.
because Helios is gonna get god bosses, so she just double preps for one more square.
Yeah, there goes Liurnia bosses.
My guess here is Ellie goes up, gets the Grace at Bale, and then just goes and kills BK.
Yeah, I want to say that I think Dino and Deutz have played like incredibly well, right? Like this has been a very, very close game, right? And it's still not over, but if there was one more snap, like if there was just one square like Hippos or Larval Tears or something that went the other way there, very different end game, right? That'd be a 50-50 end game.
Fucking hit with the Charizard's flamethrower.
And also, I do want to say here, first game of 4 today. So 8 hours of bingo action. Be sure, be here or be square.
Hey, being square is a good thing.
Or
right?
watch Bingo Brawlers.
This is Elden Squares, right?
Or you could also watch Bingo Brawlers because they got their playoffs going on. Or better yet, watch both. Dual monitor. Extra bingo action.
Watch both. I have 3 monitors. Not to brag. I'm just saying.
Ugh. You're packing, bro.
You don't want to miss out on any action, dude.
Helios is working on his god bosses here.
Godefroy. I forgot this guy exists.
Yes, you did.
I think this is his 5th one. Like he did Noble Rykard, Apostle.
Rick, yeah, this is his final one. There is the mark on the board there. So
yeah, I will be
12-9 now
if
for
Ellie
tank and
just
top.
goes into this fight because
I mean, she does really like
what's the
Bale, so
reason?
she might just go straight into it.
does like Bale, yeah, but I mean,
She's
like you
yeah,
have
she's
to
going
know.
she's going straight. She's going straight into it.
I mean, I think this is kind of an insane call, really. Like you're.
Well, here we go. We have a Bale race. Deutz is trying to make his way up the mountain. Ellie is entering the fight now. Bale the Dread. Here we go. Oh, my arms, my legs. Curse you, Bale. I hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true Drake warrior, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh. Solid of scale as you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes your rotten hide with a handful of harpoons, with every last drop of my being. How'd I do?
Dude, I thought Egon was in the call with us. That's crazy. Literally indistinguishable. I mean, Ellie really loves this fight, so I don't blame her for doing this. The one thing is, like, Dino marked 6 bosses in Liurnia.
What do you mean the one thing, Si? We got a goddamn Bale race. Get hype. Get active. Let's go. This is bingo.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm just too...
You're too California pilled, bro.
I'm thinking the strategy here, all right?
Your brain is too large. Yeah, Deutz does have dragon hunters. There's a way.
Deutz has dragon hunters. They're both in the fight.
Here comes the big move out from Bale on Ellie. She gets rocked. She's in a lot of trouble. She's probably dead. Yep. Ellie goes down.
That phase transition, dude. If you get hit by the first part of it, it's over. It's really hard to dodge the second part of that.
Now all eyes are on Deutz. Can he clutch up? Can he kill Bale? Ellie's going back in. Can he extend this game? Is there a way for Bofa D's to come back? but they need Deutz to clutch up here on Bale the Dread.
I honestly think Ellie's fight is still going to be faster than this. Like, yeah, he has Dragon Hunter's Great Katana, but like Ellie has Frost and it is
okay, negative Nancy.
Charged attack punishes quite a bit better. And also, Ellie has way more juice, way more Shadow Tree fragments. Killed 3 hippos, got 4 Skidoo out of that, and picked up Skidoo on the way to Bale. Like, Deutz is still in this though. Look, he has the lead.
And Dino might snipe. I think Dino will snipe Helios here on seals.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like maybe Ellie is saying, you know, I'll forego double prep because I have a teammate. My teammate can go for another square, but like, and also probably thinking, well, Helios, you can do PK later because Dino probably doesn't have Altus access, although he does. I'm sorry, DLC access. So Deutz gets into phase 2. Ellie's right behind him.
Yeah, Ellie is catching. That Frost is doing a lot of work there. There does go the seal snipe. Nice job by Dino, giving Deutz a chance here to close out this game. Obviously, it would need a Herculean effort by him, but anything is possible on the 25 squares.
Oh, how did he get hit by that? Dude, I thought you could jump that. Is that not true?
I don't know.
Been lied to.
Have you been had?
Been had. The trick here is spamming
and
L2.
Helios is going PK. Dino's trying to race him to PK, but
is Dino? Dino's not going.
Well, I think he's going.
Oh, he's gonna
south.
take Helios. Yeah. Wait, but you have the PK Grace.
Oh, yeah, mind. Yeah, he's not going PK. He's going Meta, I guess. And Deutz goes down.
Deutz goes down.
Deutz goes down. Now, it might be both the teammates racing to close out this game. Will it be Ellie or will it be Helios? Ellie with a massive stagger there. Then it comes out the Wild Strikes on the head. Wild Strikes just such a good Ash of War. Yeah, trust me, Bale's fucking brutal. Especially because look, these guys, Ellie has +6 flasks. Deutz has +8. They don't have a great setup, right? Like this is very suboptimal conditions to be fighting Bale.
Ellie dodges that terrible laser move. Gets the jump punish there. I think this is going to end in another stagger, dude.
It very well might. This has been a very nice Bale from her. And she closed it. She just needs like either a stagger or a frost proc and it's over. If Ellie does close this out, this will actually be the second game she's closed with Bale. Their week 1 mat game ended with Ellie killing Bale up against Iron and Typin.
Keeps getting those whiffs. The diagonal swing of the greatsword.
Ooh, and nowhere to run, but really nice dodge there.
Holy.
Here comes out big laser. Bale's final effort to try to kill Ellie here. But absolutely immaculately done by Ellie. Textbook, beautiful, and there it is. Elemis, Bia's champion, kills Bale and secures the 13-10 win for Tankin Top. It's been a big weekend for this team. They go 2-0 on the weekend, move up to 4-1 in the league. Very big win from very big games from them this weekend, and a great win here today. up against Deutz and Dino, who really did push them to the limit here today.
Yeah, really a master class from Ellie and Helios.
Yeah, because Deutz and Dino, they gave him a lot to think about early, right? They gave him a lot of problems early. Great job by Ellie and Helios weathering the storm there. Let's go ahead and bring our players in here for post-match interview.
Oh.
Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. GG's and congratulations on a fantastic game.
GG's. Well played.
GG's. Now you guys too. You fucking little tricksters. I said it to Helios. I'm like, these motherfuckers are gonna double team you, or do something sneaky this game. And Deutz marks the red, and I'm like, it is happening. but what is it? We don't know. But we knew the second we saw that mark. I'm like, we have to be very suspicious.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that because Deutz and Dino went with a very like off meta opener that like you guys have been practicing so much against teams in the practice, like teams play very meta lines, right? And they come with this like off meta game plan, right? How much did that throw you guys off at the start of the game?
Helios should answer. He's the one who's impacted by the most as the base game player. So Helios, you can speak to that. I think
I wasn't thrown off as in my game was thrown off. I was annoyed because row 5 was so annoying. It's all base game squares. And I didn't want to do any of them at the beginning, right? My play was tunnels and Volcano Manor, so I was pissed that I had to go block that before doing my play.
Yeah, we would never went for Elamar as an opener. Our plan was to always go Volcano Manor quickly to push. But the good part about Elamar is it gave us a diag, so we just turned that block into a aggressive play, which I think was good. But I was immediately like, row 5, if they're double teaming you, they're double teaming you on the worst fucking place because you can literally get double teamed on column 5 and row 5 purely in base game. So I was actually collecting larval tears early to try and make sure I can get the block when I did, and I got my last one by the Lobster Scion.
You got a nice little snipe on me at the end there. I mean, I wasn't that close to the Mimic Tears running down to him.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I got all of them, and my last DLC one was the one by the Metter, by like Ymir, and then I got my last one was Lobster Scion, and then I grabbed the Grace for the Omen Killer area in case I could do Lyurnia bosses potentially or what have you. But it threw us off a little bit, but I think we rebounded off it well.
Well, you did a great job of adapting, and obviously, a very big weekend for you guys, right? You go 2-0 on the weekend, getting 2 big wins, and now it's anyone's game. You actually move up into second place, right? Half a game back from Wander and Strump, right? Very nice spot to be in after week 5 of the season. How are both of you feeling?
I think we played some of the best bingo this weekend we've played as a team. I think we were very communicative. We were very heads up. We did everything that we've been practicing offline, and mostly in for the people people in Ignite know, but if there's other people watching, like our time zones are like polar opposites of each other. Like our game yesterday was 4 a.m. for Helios, similar for Dino and Deutz, but they're in both AU, so they have the same schedule. Helios and I don't get to practice a lot together, so most of our like practice together has been like sending each other boards of games we've played, watching VODs of stuff we've done. Yeah, mostly theory, and the couple practice games we've done, we've worked on communication, but that's about it. And I'm really just proud of how both of us have, like, with very little time together, have managed to come up with a very good cohesive team. And I think the rando tournament we played in previously helped as well, because we've already had to handle like lows in a competitive environment, and then figure out ways to bounce back from that. So.
Yeah, because watching their games, we would have no idea, right? Just obviously I know because talking to you, but just watching these games, you'd have no idea, right?
Yeah, rando is also very different than bingo. So
you can pause and talk about things.
To navigate. Like,
yeah. Well,
I'm assuming you guys were like triple prepped at the end, right? Like you guys were fucking good to go and everything.
We were not really. I instead of running towards PK, I said Deutz, I'm not gonna go imbibe because that's the easy square for Deutz to do if he hasn't killed ADM. So I grabbed the Fisher Cross, I grabbed the Grace by Bale, and then I did Larval Tears. And then once we got God Bosses, we only needed 1 square to win, so I just started at
Okay.
Bale. Like,
Deutz
Deutz
did have
can't...
an unfortunate death on Bale. I think he would have got it. Bale was like a couple hits away.
Oh, that sucks. I died on Bale.
No, I wasn't that close, but
He was like quarter health.
I guess
a little bit less, right?
I died to him once when he was about
It's-
half HP. I got hit by the fucking strafe laser because he did it in a weird spot, and I didn't adapt my movement properly, so I also had a death.
Fuck the laser man.
Yeah.
But we also had
For
we were gonna have Helios go imbibe. From
Yeah, I
unfortunately,
was on my way to
Raptor.
buy, but
Yeah,
I
we
think
were
Helios would have been
Dino
there
doing
faster,
imbibe.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Could I have been there faster?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Well,
Because I
you know,
did
you get the-
seals.
No,
you get the Grace.
Seals
You
was
were
a
racing
Seals was a
Seals at the
snipe,
end.
but if you did you forget about the Grace and the Fissure?
Yes, I didn't know you get the grace.
Yeah,
Okay,
you have to
weird.
break the seal though. You have to like
Yeah, you
run
have to
towards
break
Golden
the-
Hippo.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just broke the seal. I ran all the way to the
Oh my god.
Cerulean
What?
Coast cross.
He was-
I think
he
we
was
would've-
going there.
We would have double prepped Meta and Imbibe. I think is what if we lose Seals and Bale. We
Yeah,
try
yeah,
to
I think it was
Meta and Imbibe
unwinnable
prep.
by the end.
It'd be hard
this
to.
game's- I was saying to Deutz, this game feels weird because I don't know what what we strictly did wrong.
I think your squares, Dino, were
this board is just hard.
unsynergistic. Yeah,
The biggest
Yeah,
turning
I
point
agree.
for me where it felt like the game really shifted was not getting hippos, right? That was
Yeah.
a big
is that a snipe?
not exactly like kind of Deutz died to the golden hippo. If he had got it first try,
Nemesis.
I really don't know who would have gotten it. It would have been
Yeah,
very
I
close.
prepped when I did Sword of Light and Darkness. I prepped the Grace after the Furnace Golem, and then I did Sword of Light because that was the more important block of the Bofa and tunnels.
Yeah.
For a block, and then I'm like, okay, well, it hasn't been marked yet. Hippos doesn't take this long. Either Deutz isn't going for this, or he's dying to Golden Hippo, because it should be marked otherwise. And
Yeah,
that
if
comes from
you-
doing VOD review and knowing that Deutz dies to Golden Hippo at least once a game. Not to flame, but it is your nemesis for. It is a nemesis for. It's just, hey, I died to the fucking Furnace Golem on the way because I was collecting the larval tears
Yeah.
came from the left side, and he opens up with the kick in front of me on the side. I literally cannot move anywhere. Like I think I'm just dead. I had to like try torrent iframing if I wanted to live, and I didn't. Fuck, I just blew up. So that sucked. But
I don't know what it is, because in practice I get it first try every time.
that's
But-
true.
In a real game, I just can't do it.
It's the 4 a.m. debuff.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I do wanna say a massive thank you to both of these. I mean, it was a very exciting game, right? Because you guys played so off meta. It was something we hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
Especially the first up until that hippo snipe, like it was 50-50.
Even with the hippo, even with the die I marked, we felt it was competitive the whole way
Yeah.
through. Like we didn't take you guys for granted any set. And when Stoitz with that opener too, we were like, okay, they're here to play a different game, so we need to adapt. So you guys played very well. I
Yeah,
think that was a very fun game for us.
yeah. Game wasn't over on the hip.
God bosses.
Game wasn't over on the hippos, obviously, but like it tides definitely shifted strongly in your favor, right?
That die I get so done with
yeah.
Logan Magnus as the middle, and Helios has Tanith Knight, right? So he could send Altus any
Yeah.
time, and yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I killed ADM first before going Hippo as well. Cause I'm like, are we pushing this bingo? And Helios is like, I don't think we should try lose the game pushing a bingo and getting sniped somewhere down the line. So I killed ADM and then finished Hippos because I was like,
I think it's a
okay,
good play.
I want to play smart for majority then and get into self, and
Yeah.
just in case, yeah.
that
What
is.
was what was weapon choice for you guys, by the way? Sorry, Hughes.
Oh, you're good.
Gargoyle's great sword. That was the only decent wild strikeable smithing weapon, and I didn't care to run a somber this game.
Interesting. Okay.
I started Rakshasas and then just used Dragon Hunters the entire time. I was thinking about pivoting, but never got around to it.
Yeah, I just used Rakshasa started with the Dex Helm, so it made it life easier.
Yeah, they ran double
I-
katana. They ran double great katanas.
I did not care to lose whatever time I would have lost picking up the Dex tier on this board early rushes.
I didn't do Dex tier.
He did Dectus.
But yeah, I think that messed with my game plan because it allowed you to get into Volcano meta faster, which gives you like God Bosses, Tanith Knight, all that stuff. So I had to adapt my play from doing Rakshasas.
Yeah. Well,
sense.
GG's everyone.
GG's, guys.
Congratulations on a fantastic game. I do want to say
super well played.
I do want to
Yeah,
say
you
thank
too.
you so much to Bino, Deutz, and Helios, because this is a god awful time for them. So thank you so much for adapting and
My goats.
in being a goat. And obviously, thank you so much for the community for watching. Would not be the same without all of you. We are going to take a short break here, and then we will be right back with another big game. Bajar FR Team France, the team that might be the hottest team in the league right now. Ellie and Helios, you don't need to argue with me right now. They've been very hot, going up against Rambler and Jay, old but gold, looking to get their season on track with a big upset win over Bajar FR. We will see what happens, and we will be right back.